Hello everyone and welcome to our community Right Education. I am Shilpy Gautam and I'll be your mentor for this exclusively free course on Linux automation with Ansible. So in last session we have discussed privilege escalation, configuration file and inventory file of Ansible. Okay. So today our agenda will be to discuss ad hoc commands. Okay. Let me start. So today we'll discuss uh, ad hoc commands. Okay, what is ad hoc commands of Ansible and what is its format and why do we need ad hoc commands, and also we'll see what exactly Ansible modules is and why do we need it. Also we'll see the use case of playbook and how to write playbook and how to write a Ansible YML file. Okay, so today we'll see these things. So we have already discussed privilege escalation. So I have already told the meaning of remote user. Okay, remote user and we want to enable remote user or not. So for that we had keyword become, and if we want to become, then what is the which power we want to use, and if we want to become, then which user we want to become. Okay, so we have already seen these things in last class. So today we'll start with ad hoc command. So one thing I have told about these privilege escalation thing. So already told that there are three location. There are three location for there are three location for configuration file. So the last location there where Ansible will see will be the global file for configuration file, that is /etc/ansible/ansible.conf cfg. Okay, so this is the last file where Ansible will see, and followed by that the home directory file where home, the configuration file which is present in home directory, this will see Ansible. Okay, and the main file that Ansible normally check for is the file configuration file which is present in working directory. Okay, so this is the main file, but if we want to overwrite this one also, then we can mention whatever privilege we want to give, we can mention while using ad hoc command also. Okay, or we can use that in playbook also. So what is ad hoc command and what is playbook, we will see now. So ad hoc command ad hoc command, we are using ad hoc command from very first session. Okay, so the command that we have used, like Ansible all -m ping, if you remember, we are using this command from very first session where where we have used this command to check the connectivity between managed node and controller node. Okay, but this command has a other use case, we'll see now. So actually ad hoc command is used to execute, means used for automation only, and this is used where we need to execute some simple task. Okay, let's say if we want to copy some file. Okay, so simply if we want to copy some file to manage node, then why to write a playbook? Again, playbook is like complete file. Okay, so why to write a file if we just want to copy a file, or if we just want to check whether our software is update or not. So for these small tasks we don't go for playbooks normally, and we normally used ad hoc ad hoc commands. Okay, but if we really want to see the real power of Ansible, okay, then we'll go for playbooks, because playbook is like, again, playbook is like a file in which we can write as many steps we want to do, and playbook will do all those together. So in detail we'll see now. Okay, so for writing a ad hoc command, there's a format. It is followed by Ansible, then whichever host pattern we want to run our ad hoc command, so then host pattern, then -m, and followed by the module name, which module we want to use, then -a, and in double quotes or in single quote we'll write the argument whatever is needed. Okay, so Ansible this keyword we use to tell our system that we want to use our Ansible engine. Okay, so for using Ansible engine we have to use Ansible keyword. Then host pattern means whichever host we want to run, or whichever host group we want to run our command, and this -m to tell which module we want to use, and this is the name of module. So again, module is like a code. Okay, so a module is like a code or like a function which tells Ansible that this is the use case that we want to solve. Okay, so and like we know that if we have, let's say, CentOS 6, okay, in CentOS 6 for some use case there will be some command, and it might be possible that in CentOS 8 or CentOS 7 that command might get changed. For same use case that command might get changed, and again in CentOS 8 again that command might get changed to some other. So if we need to remember all the commands, like for CentOS 6 which command was there, for CentOS 7 which command was there, if we need to remember these things, then again it will be like a manual thing. So Ansible helped us to remove these things. So what Ansible did is, Ansible covered all OS respective command. Ansible covered all OS respective command within a layer, that is resource abstraction layer, and it gave a single name for all the commands that we call it as module. So module is based on service, like which service we are using or what is the use case. So based on service or use case, Ansible made a module, means we made a module for Ansible and we use it. Okay, so so here once again, so here we need to mention that which module we want to use. So whether it is CentOS 6 or CentOS 7 or whatever system we have, operating system we have, we don't need to mention the OS respective command. We will just use, like if we have use case of copying a file, then it might be possible that in some system for copying a file command is copy. Okay, but in some system command is cp. So we don't need to remember that the command is copy or the command is cp. We have a module for this use case. We have a module and that module name is copy. Okay, so here we'll simply mention that copy, we want to copy, so module name will be copy. And depending on which module we are using, it will have some argument. Okay, in last class we have used a use case of we have seen a use case of creating a user. Okay, so for user creation we have used the module named user, and it is obvious that if we want to create a user, then we have to mention the name of user, that which user we want to create. And if we want to create a user and we have used the module user, so either we can have use case that we want to create user or we want to remove that user. Okay, so if we want to remove that user, then state will be absent, and if we want to remove that user, then state will be absent. But if we want to create that user, then state will be present. Okay, so it is obvious that if we are using user module, then we have to mention name, state, and if we want to specify UID also, then we have to mention this also. So it is like, if we are using this module, then we need to mention these keywords also. So these are like children of this module. Okay, so these will come under argument. That if we are using user module here, then we need argument as name and state, and if we want to specify UID also, so for that UID. Okay, so these all things are there. But here only we have used one module, like from first class we are using one module, that is Ansible -m Ping. Okay, so here here we are using, this is also a module, but this module does not require any argument or does not require any other keyword for running. So we don't need to mention -a. Okay, for in this case we can skip this -a. Okay, so let me do it in system. I have already started my system, so let me do it in system. So I have started my controller node, and only one managed node I have started. Okay, so let's do in system. So in last class only we have seen that we have created a user, like we have created a workspace directory. So let's check which workspace we, okay, so it is workspace only. So let's go to workspace. Here we have inventory file and Ansible configuration file. So we will do some of the experiment in one managed node only. So we have started one managed node only. So let me first list all the managed node that we have. Ansible all hyphen list hosts. So 3 hosts we have, and it is saying that both group and host with server name C. Okay, so let's change it first. Okay, let's change it to UT. Okay. Now again let's run it. So it is not giving any warning now. Now we have 3 systems. So let's do ping on all the system. We have 3 systems mentioned in our inventory file, but we have started only one system. So for 2 systems it won't be able to connect. For only one system it will be able to connect. Okay, so it is clearly saying that unreachable server B and server C is unreachable, because we have not started server B and server C. But if we want to do, then we can see here that server A, it is reachable, and for ping it is saying pong, means it is reachable. And one more thing we can observe here, that if it is successful, then it is giving output in green color, and if it is not successful, or if there is some error or warning or something, then it is giving output in red color. Okay, so if our output will be in red color, then we can assume that okay, it is wrong, somewhere it is wrong. Okay, now we have seen that this is the way for using ad hoc command, right? Now let's go and see some more thing. So ad hoc command, I told about what is ad hoc command. So I already told the way for writing ad hoc command. And one more thing, in ad hoc command only I said about privilege escalation, that if we want to override that privilege escalation that we have mentioned there, then we can change that privilege escalation from command lines also, from ad hoc commands also. So as we have if we'll see in there, then let's go to Ansible configuration file. So here we have already given that become true, become method sudo, and become user root, become aspas false. We have already mentioned these things. Let's edit this. Okay, and let's comment out this line. Okay, we have commented out this. Now let's try to install some software, but again, as we are using root, so we will be able to install that software. But let's try. Okay, because in configuration file, again let me open configuration file. So in this file, if we will see that we are using user as manager user. Okay, so for manager user, as it is not a sudo user, so we might not have access of sudo. Let's check. Ansible server A -m yum. So yum is again a module, and yum module is used for installing any software or removing any software. So this is the use case for installing or deleting any software. Okay, name httpd state present. Okay, let's run it. if we have added that in, okay, so it is saying that this command has to be run under the root user. Okay, so this is saying that this command has to be run under the root user. This is giving me that error because it is saying that this should be run under root user because we have commented out the become keyword. Okay, so with that become you keyword we have commented out that it has no privilege to behave like a root. So if it won't behave like a root, then it doesn't, we know that other user doesn't have access to install or remove any software. So it is not, it can't behave like a root, so it can't install any software. But if we want, like in configuration file we have mentioned that it doesn't have access to become root user, but if we want that it can become, then we can give that from command line also. So let's run the same thing but with the keyword become. Okay, become true. I think it will be hyphenating. Okay, fail to download mirror from repo app string, cannot prepare internal mirror list, no mirror list. Okay. Okay, let's check it again why it is saying this. Okay, let's skip this and we'll do something else now. We'll see at the at later. Okay, now as I told about modules, so for modules we have some commands that which all modules Ansible support. So when we install Ansible, with Ansible only about 4,000 modules come, that is standard modules. But like it is depend on which use case we have. Some module is for cloud, some module is for system management, okay, Linux system management, and some is for other use case. It depends on use case. We have so many modules, so about 4K modules it comes, and we can list out all the modules with the help of Ansible doc -l. So if we'll give the command Ansible doc, then it will show all the modules, means what all modules we have. Okay, so let's go to that system and again do Ansible doc so it will list out all the modules that we have, and if we want to count that modules, okay, we can press space, then it will give all the modules. So it has so many modules, but if we have some use case, then we want to, and we can quit it with Q. And if we want to check some modules, then we can simply do if we want to know the commands or what or keyword it will require for yum, so we can simply give yum Ansible Ansible doc yum. It will give all detail about the yum module. Okay, so here we can see everything, that what all is requirement, and these all are the way to write in Ansible playbook. Okay, so here we can see that if we want to use yum and we want to remove some package like Apache package, then we have to mention yum module along with the name which package we want to uninstall or remove, and state we have to mention absent. Okay, and if we have a use case that install the latest version of Apache for testing, then we can do this thing. Okay, so these all are the way we can take help from here, and we can take help from here, and we can quit it with Q. Also, if we just want to mention, if we just want to see that which all keywords it support, then for that we can mention -s option. It will just give us which all keywords it supports. Okay, so it is clearly here saying that it will yum supports allow downgrade, auto removes, bug fix, config file disable, and these all are the commands that it supports. So state also it is here, state. So these all are the keywords that it supports. Okay, so we can check it from Ansible doc. We have Ansible doc command and Ansible doc -s for all keywords, and Ansible doc -l for list out all the modules we have. Okay, and if we want to check about some specific module, then directly we can give Ansible doc and the name of that module. Fine. So this is about Ansible module. Now coming we have used one ad hoc command, that is Ansible Ping. There is a thing about Ansible Ping, that Ansible Ping is it is not the ICMP ping that we use traditionally. So ping command is not that ICMP ping. It is not ICMP ping, but it will check that whatever managed node we are using, whether it has Python setup or not. Because as I told in previous classes that Ansible is a Python library. So Python need to be installed, and not only in controller node, it need to be installed in managed node also. Only if managed node, in managed node Python will be set up, then only we'll be able to use modules. Okay, so whenever we do Ansible all -m ping, then it goes to that system, all the managed node, and it check whether Python interpreter is set up there or not, or it means that whether we all the standard Ansible module are compatible with those managed node or not. And if it is able to go to that managed node, then we can say that yes, we have connectivity also. So whenever we use some managed node, then first we do ping to set up that we can use Ansible modules, or we have connectivity or not. So this is the must module, and this is the most important module that we use all the time for checking connectivity, and we can check that we are compatible, or system is compatible or not. Okay, now we will see some of the use case of Ansible ad hoc command. So as I said, Ansible can be used for installing some software. Like simply if we want to install some software, then we can use Ansible, and if we want to simply copy some file, then we can use Ansible. And in last class only I have shown that if we want to create some user, then we can use Ansible ad hoc command. Okay. Now let's create some user, and in server A. Okay, so for that I have already shown, but again let me do that. Ansible server A -m user, and -a name, let's say new user. Okay, state present, and let's say we want to create a user with fixed UID, that is 2000. Okay, so let's mention this also. Now let's run it. User add permission denied. Okay, so it is saying that permission is, we don't have permission because we have commented out those lines in configuration files. So again we have to give that, because we are using with manager user, and manager user doesn't have access to create user or to install software. These part Ansible user does not have. Okay, and so we can check help with Ansible -help command also, that where we are lagging. So it is saying that if we want to give access of become, then there is an option of -become. Okay, let me try that. -become. Now let me run it. So it is saying that it has changed, and we have created the user, new user in server A with the new user in server A with changed as true, and group name UID is 2000 and group name is also 2000 and state is present. Okay, so it has created, and here if we can observe that color of output is orange. Okay, so if there is some change, if we are doing something and some change is occurring, that then output will come in orange color or yellow, whatever color. And if we are doing something and color is red, then there is some error and it has not run properly. And if output is in green color, that means it is successful and there is no change occurred. Okay, here we can see that changed is true, that means some change has occurred, that is why it is giving output in orange color. And obviously change has occurred because we have created new user, so new user has been created in that system. Fine. So we ran one more command before for installing software here. So here we can see that we have written hyphen become equals to true. So that was the wrong keyword, that is why it failed. It should be hyphen become. Okay, it should be hyphen become. So what we can we have seen here that if we, here that in configuration file we have commented out all the lines that we want to become something. Okay, so so in configuration file we have commented out all these things that we want to become something, or what user we want to become and what power we want to give. We have commented out everything. Still we have given hyphen become in ad hoc command directly and it is working properly. So it clearly means that we can overwrite whatever is mentioned in configuration file. We have overwrite that with directly directly using hyphen become option in ad hoc command. And also it has overwritten because like by default remote user, like become user is by default root, and become method is by default sudo only. Okay, so even if we have not used that which method we want to become and which user we want to become, it has taken root and it has given the sudo power, and that is why we are able to create user just by mentioning become with the help of manager user. Okay, now we will see this again in some time. So we have created user. Now now let's run that command again. Okay, one second. So if we want to run that command again, so let's run this command again and let's see whether again it is creating any user or not. So let's run it, and if we will observe, then output will be in green color. Yes, okay, so output is in green color, and we can see here that changed is false and append is false, means there is nothing appended there, and change is also false, and means there is no change. State is present, means as this user was already there, so it has not created any other user, and state was present, so still it is present. So this is the property. I have told this earlier also that this is the property of Ansible. This property is known as idempotence. One second. So Ansible is idempotent, which means if current state is equals to desired state, then Ansible will not make any change. Okay, then Ansible will not make any change. So again here we can see that as many times we want to run that command, we can run, and we will observe that it is giving output in green color and it is not making any changes, because changes is false, because current state is already desired state is already the current state, means this user is already created, so it is not creating anything, and output is in green color. So what we have discussed is there's output can come in three color. Output can come in three color: green color, orange color, and red color. So if red color means error, there is some error and our command has failed. And if orange color, that means change is true, means whatever we want, it has been done. And if it is green color, that means change, there is no change occur and everything is perfect, right? Now now we'll run some more command for looking the power of ad hoc command. Okay, so now let's run that, create that install that software, httpd software. So with this command we can either check that httpd is already present or not. If it is not present, then it will install that software there. So we don't know whether it is present or not, so we can check it. If it won't be present, then it will install there. Okay, so okay, a fail to download metadata for repo upstream, cannot prepare internal methodist. Okay, so means yum is not set up there, or there is no connectivity in that system for httpd software, so it is not getting installed. So we'll try to install some other software. Let's check it with firewall D software. Okay, again it is saying that. So let's go to that system and let's debug that, what is the error, why it is showing that. So upstream, these all are there. Fail to download metadata, mirror list, no wire and mirror list. Okay, so okay, maybe there is some connection error or something, so we'll try it again. It is due to, like, in CentOS we don't have software already there in our system, so it goes to internet and from there it installs some software. It is showing that the mirror list that this CentOS is using does not have this software, so due to that it is giving me error. So we'll try it again, maybe there will be some connection error, so we'll try it again. Okay, now we'll see one more command. We will try to copy a file in local system itself, and so let's do it. Okay, Ansible, if you want to do it in local system itself, then the host pattern will be localhost, and if you want to copy a file, then the module will be copy. And for copying a file, it is but obvious that if you want to copy some file, then we want to copy some content in that file, or we want to copy one file from from one file to another file. Okay, so let's say we want to copy some file, so we can copy the content. So copy is the module, and whatever keyword it will require will give as argument. So we want to copy some content, so keyword will be content is equals to, and one more thing, if we want to write some content, so it will be in double quotes, content will be in double quotes, so here we'll write single quote. Now content, we can, let's say content is managed by Ansible. Okay, this is for new line. Now where we want to copy, so that keyword will be destination. Let's say we want to copy in root and index file. Okay, txt. and close that argument. So it is just a copying of file. So for copying, we don't need any root access. That is why we have not mentioned hyphen become here. So root access is required for creating new user, for installing any software, and for such things we need root access. But for just copying file or to delete any normal file, we don't need root access. So we have not mentioned hyphen become here. So here we can see that output has come and changed true, means it has means this copy has been created, or this content is pasted, and this content is pasted there. Now we'll check that whether that file is present or not, and we'll check the command, we'll check the content of that file. So the file there where we have copied this content is root and index.txt, right? So here it is saying that managed by Ansible, fine. So this is the thing. Now we can check the content of this file directly with Ansible also. So for checking that, we have command Ansible localhost and -a, same thing, cat root index.txt. Okay, Ansible localhost -e. One second. Okay, so this is writing, like here we can write whatever we want to in that file. So one more thing, in Ansible, we have many modules, but for those modules we need to mention which module we want to use with -m and then module name. Okay, so Ansible, then host pattern, then -m, and then module name, and if that module requires argument, then -a argument. Okay, but if we don't, like if we want to run the command as it is, then we have a module command. Okay, so we have a module command. With command module we can run the command as it is. We don't need to use any other like for checking any file we have command cat. Okay, for copying any file we have command cp, but here module, for copying we use copy module. Okay, for creating user we use module user, but normally if we talk about command, then the command is user add. Okay, so these all are the commands, but these all are modules. So if we are doing in this way, then here we use the module name, then its argument. But if we don't want to use module name, and let's say we are in hurry, and let's say that there is some use case and we don't know which module we have to use for that use case, then we can directly run the commands, traditional command that we know. Okay, so for that we can run like Ansible, then host pattern, or whichever host we want to run on, then -m, and module we can use is command, and in argument we can directly mention the command. Like if you want to read that file, then cat root and index.txt, right? Way for doing that. Now, not only command, we have one more thing for writing command as it is. Command or shell or raw. These three modules are there which we can use for writing command as it is, for knowing the output by writing command as it is. But these three modules are not idempotent. These three modules are not idempotent. That is why we are not preferred to use these modules, but we can use these modules if required, but these are not preferred because it is not idempotent, fine. And by default, if we are not mentioning this -m keyword, then by default it will take command module. Okay, and it will take command module. Fine. So let's see some of the use cases. Index.txt only. Fine. Okay. So we are running wrong thing. That is why it is giving error. Let's check whether this file is there or not. This file is there. Now let's check it with Ansible. Ansible -m Ansible localhost -m command, or we can skip this -m command also, because as I said, this is by default it takes command module only, and in -a we have to give command as it is. So we want to read this file, so command will be cat, as we have seen here. We have seen here that this is the command, so we can run this command with Ansible also. Let's run it. So here we can see that output it is giving the same output that we got here. The same output that we got here, we are getting it by with Ansible also. So here we can see the use of command module. We have used command module and we have done cat, means here we have just run the command as it is with the help of command module. Now we will run the same command without using command module. Okay. Sorry. Again we will get the same output, because by default Ansible take the command as take the module as command only. And we have discussed two modules, that and shell module. So both have approx same use case, that with the help of both modules we can run the command as it is. We can run the command as it is. Fine. But with command module we can't use some of the things, like can't process shell operation like piping. Okay, we can't do this piping or redirection. We can't do these things with command module. So if we want to do these things like shell operations like redirection or piping, then we have to use shell module. Okay, so let's check it whether we are able to use or not. So let's say we want to create one file. We want to create one file abc.txt, and in that file we want to write some command, and so this is the operation of redirection here. Okay, so we are using command module here. So let's check whether it is working or not. So it is saying that it is giving error, and it is saying that no such file or directory, because this sign means. Okay, with command module, as I said, with command module we can't pass any shell operation, so it failed. So we will try to do operation and it will work properly, because with shell operation we can do whatever we can do in terminal directly. Okay, so it is working here. It has not given any error here. Fine. Now we can so here it has not opened the command prompt for us, because in configuration file we have already said that Ansible is not interactive. Like we have already said that we don't want it to be interactive. That is why it has not asked for any input from keyboard, and it has not given any error because we are using shell operation here. Now we can check one more thing, that one more thing we can check with shell. Ansible doc -l. So if we'll do Ansible doc -l, So there are so many modules. First we'll do it with command. So it will show us what all our modules are present. Fine. Okay, so it has shown us, and if we'll do this with shell module also, it will work properly. But if we want to check that how many lines it has, or how many it has, then for that we can pass the output of this, and it will count the number of lines it has or number of modules it has. So I think it will give, so most probably it will give error, because here we are using piping. So okay, WC, I think it is WC only. WC hyphen L only for lines. Ansible doc. Okay, let's check it later. So we have seen three modules till now. Command, shell and raw. So raw is again like this, but these three are not idempotent is in nature, so we don't prefer to use, because here we can see that whatever commands we are running here, it is always giving output in orange color. It is always giving output in orange color, means here it is Ansible is not changing anything, still it is giving output in orange color, means it is showing that something has changed. Okay, so this is the thing that command and shell module does. That is why we don't prefer to use command and shell module. It does not check for current state, and it does whatever operation we tell it to do. Okay, so these commands are these modules are not preferred to use, but still we may need it sometime, so we will use it sometime. Now we can here we have created user. Fine, we have created a user, and we try to install software also, and we have done some more things, but we have done it with Ansible ad hoc commands. Okay, so ad hoc commands, if we have use case of simply copying a file, or creating a user, or just installing a software, like single use case if we have, then we can use ad hoc command. But let's say we want to set up web server. Okay, so for setting up web server, we first need to, this is a Linux concept for Apache. Let's say we want to set up Apache web server. Okay, so for setting up Apache web server, first we have to install software, that is HTTPD. Then we have to copy file in folder /var www html. Okay, so we have to copy file in this folder. Then we have to start services. Okay, so at least these three steps we have to do for setting up web server. So again, this is like 3 steps we have to do.